Mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, señoras y señores, currently, PSG is the best team in the world. La Liga. The only team that I'll entertain the possibility is better is FC Bayern Munich. Apart from that, it's us two. A dominant performance. People say, oh, but you played a watch. Listen, I'm not saying that, we played the stiffest opposition. But guys, I'm sorry. As the old adage goes, you can only beat the opposition in front of you. A thunderous statement. The first demonstration of power. 4-0 versus Atalanta Bergamo. And honestly, what a game. And the thing is, though, it could have been and should have been more. We're talking about a game where you won 4-0, yes, but you missed a pen. The keeper, especially in that first 20 minutes, was on cloud 9. But we have to start off with, I think there's nobody else today overall. The performance, the funny thing is that if you ask me who was the man of the match today, I got and said I could pick out -- who ended up getting it. I could pick out Marquinhos, who I thought was excellent today. Absolutely excellent, impeccable today. I could give you Nuno Mendes. I could say everybody was good today. Everybody today did their part, and they were excellent today. That's what I mean. You go 𝙊𝙾𝘼𝘾𝘼 today. I thought he was okay, missed his pen, and we'll get onto that later on. But even when your supposed star players, aren't there, people are there to pick up the slack. And this is what I mean. Everywhere we go, there is not one team in the world that is so balanced. You can give me Barca. Yes, their attack is crazy. Their midfield is also good, but defensively, frailties. You give me, Chelsea. Yes, the midfield is good, so on and so forth. Afterwards, why not? There's limitations. Real Madrid, same thing, but midfield, PSG, arguably top 2 attacks in the world. Well, if you want to put Barca up, top 2 attacks in the world, up there in terms of attacks. Midfield, best midfield in the world. Nobody holds a candle. Nobody holds a candle. Pardon me. Currently, in defense, top 3 best midfields in the world. And keeper, you got our top, I would say minimum top 10 keeper in the world. From A to B, PSG have an excellent squad and all coached by a magnificent manager in Luis Enrique. And that's what I want to start off by. And it's this new thing that Luis Enrique has done in the last 2 games at the PAC specifically, where he goes up, he starts off watching the game from the stands, from a suite and whatnot to get a better vantage point. And he's got on his headset, looks like he's on a Discord call or something like that, talking to his assistant, Power, I think 𝙊𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙏. And then he comes in at halftime, tweaks and whatnot, and changes things. It's a thing, again, it's not new in football. Football, in my managers have done in the past. It's really common in rugby and in NFL. But, when I go and I see this, it's like, this guy, he never stops innovating. He never stops. The grind continues. Never satisfied. He always wants more. And for today, you go and you look, a smashing 4-0 victory. Again, Atalanta, yes, it's not the Atalanta of a couple of years ago when they won the Europa League. But this is still Atalanta. Why not? It's still a decent European club. They took Madrid and whatnot, and PSG went, did the business. 4-0, didn't really suffer much, got the win, statement win. They did what was expected of them, and we move. And that's all he wanted. That is literally all you wanted. There's nothing more you can go and ask of it. To get on to specific performances again today, I've already talked about Marquinhos. I thought Marquinhos today was absolutely excellent. Legitimately could have been a contender for the man of the match today. Scored his goal early, had 2 shots, was good defensively, didn't really have any issues defensively. Won a penalty as well. Excellent for Marquinhos today. Next bit, Hakimi today. I thought we're seeing a better version. I think Hakimi started off the season, I think I got to go and say, rather quite slowly. But now, as he's going on, I think he's getting into, the rhythm thing. I think we're seeing in the Hakimi of the old, where he's, confident going forward, bombing runs, putting crosses in. We're seeing a better version of Hakimi getting an assist today. Pacho, I thought today, had a typical Pat, didn't really have much to do, defended well. The thing is, though, we didn't really suffer defensively, so there wasn't really much for him to do. But when he was asked, when he was called upon, he was there. And Nuno Mendes. I think I heard a stat, somebody said it in my stream, that Nuno Mendes is the first fullback ever to complete 5 dribbles in a Champions League game. Now, listen, I can't say whether that stat is valid or not. It doesn't really mean much in actuality. Probably not, but I'm sorry. This guy defensively is up there. He's great, excellent. Offensively, he's the best. You can give me your ball days, even as much as it pains, it hurts. But even Alphonso Davies, Nuno, what a player, Nuno Mendes. Won the most goals once again, scored a goal today, an excellent goal at that. In front of assist for Bradley Barcola. Nuno Mendes, absolutely excellent. Dude, this guy is by far the best left back in the world. Don't give me anybody else. Clear of anybody. Get Cucurella out of here. Clear Cucurella. Same thing with Hakimi. Clear whoever you want next, whether it's, Timber, Koundé. I'm sorry. PSG have the best fullback pairing in the world, bar none. Again, the midfield today, I thought was fine today. I thought Fabian Ruiz, especially in those first 20 minutes, I thought he was excellent. Senor Fabian gets an assist, goes, he played another great pass and whatnot. Fabian Ruiz, honestly, this guy, what a player he is. Didn't even play the full game, only, played 55 minutes, came off. He was obviously coming back from an injury with Spain. So, easing him into it. At that point, I would think it was already, maybe 2-3-0. So there wasn't really any, point in forcing it beyond anything. Goes, got that. Vitinha again today, just another typical Vitinha performance, completed the most passes with 93. Excellent Vitinha. I think he maybe lost the ball. This was only 2 times in terms of pass accuracy. What was 5 misplaced passes for the most passes in the game. Excellent pass accuracy once again. João Neves again. Again, the thing is, the midfield today, it's so controlled, so balanced. It's hard to go and take one player in particular out of the lot because of just how balanced and how evenly distributed the midfield is. And I think that's probably one of the biggest strengths of PSG. And in the front, the attack, you could argue was probably the weakest part of PSG's game today. Starting off with 𝙊𝙾𝘼𝘾𝘼 today. I thought 𝙊𝙾𝘼𝘾 had an all right game. He has an 8.0 here. I think 8.0 is probably a bit generous to 𝙊𝙾𝘼𝘾. He didn't really do much in terms of the dribbling, so on and so forth. Wasn't his best game and whatnot. But and also high expected goals. And I think there's nowhere else to start with 𝙊𝙾𝘼, but then that missed penalty. I know 𝙊𝙾𝘼 he's only ever taken one other penalty. It was the penalty that he took against France, for France against Portugal in the Euros, and he scored that one. And I don't know, maybe he's changed things up and maybe things are different now, but I'm sorry, that one run-up penalty, maybe he's done training, it's worked hard. Yeah, I don't want to see it. At least the Vitinha one, he went, and when he goes, takes his penalty, there's a technique behind it, and he missed it wide and was saved, fair enough, it's the technique. But there's one thing, the shot was absolutely terrible. The shot from 𝙊𝙾𝘼 was terrible today. I'm sorry, we got to go and say it. I never want to see that again. Overall, again, was quiet. Really, we didn't really give him the ball much. But I think the couple of times he did have something, he was all right. I remember this shot, again, not really much gusto on it, but he did what he needed to do. Fine today, and I'll be expecting better things from 𝙊𝙾𝘼, especially given that, 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼 𝙀𝙬𝘾𝘼 and 𝙬𝙬𝘼𝑑𝑒 are injured. Cenny Mayul today, I thought I think we got to be pretty honest here. I think it was pretty quiet, but again, he's coming back from injury, so it's really hard to go and really gauge too much from it, but it was fine today. And then finally from the starting 11, 𝙬𝙬𝘼𝙖𝙾𝘼 got the man of the match today. I think probably deserved. Had the most chances created. Got an excellent goal. It was just excellent. It's good to see finally. This is definitely Bukavar's best performance. Basically, I'll go and say since the final, realistically, in the Champions League, because ever since, honestly, that final, the Club World Cup, early on this season, he hasn't been that same player. For multiple reasons, I think going off to international break, coming back, doing well for Georgia, I think it's done him a whole lot of good. And it's just excellent. The fact that PSG, you have 𝙊𝙾𝘼𝘾, you have 𝙬𝙬𝘼𝘾𝘼, you have 𝙬𝙬𝘼, you have Dembele, so many different wingers in terms of options or players that can play in that position that it gives you so much flexibility. So excellent game from Kvara. His goal, brilliantly taken, going solid and runs through past a couple players, smacks it in. What a golazo, que golazo. And obviously for the people off the bench, there's not much else to say. I thought Warren today was good. 1 duels, 1 balls. Didn't really have too much to do. Kang and Lee, same thing. Gonzalo Ramos. The thing is, Gonzalo Ramos is, I don't know what it is with Gonzalo Ramos, but this guy, I swear, he's just better coming off the bench. I go and look at it. He missed 3, where is it here? If I can go to, 3 hit in what? He played how many minutes? 32 minutes. He missed 3 big chances. The thing is, he scores. Every time he comes off the bench, he scores a goal. And I don't know, maybe it's, the fact that, defenses, they're tired and, tired legs and whatnot. And it's towards the end of the game. But I just feel like every single time, he'll go and get a goal, but when he starts a game, he's just not that. I saw him obviously last in the league and whatnot. I wasn't all that impressive. So it's weird with Gonzalo Ramos. So then he's almost too good to be a super sub, but honestly, that currently it's his level. So it's complicated. But again, gets his goal I think it was a great pass from, was it who gave him the pass on that one? Or was it Hakimi? Anyways, whoever it was, great pass from them. And Zabarni came on late, so it's hard to go and gauge him, and same thing with Ibrahim and Bai. But yeah, overall, I'll go and say that from PSG, You go into even the stats, you go and you look 3.45 XG, 22 shots, 13 shots on target, and 10 big chances created. I even went and looked at, and I took specifically a screenshot of what the stats were specifically at halftime, and they shocked me because these were the stats at halftime. One must have 10 minutes into the game. 10 minutes into the game, PSG already had 78% possession, 1.48 XG, had already 7 shots, 4 shots on target, 4 big chances created in 10 minutes. This screenshot was taken at 10 minutes. That's crazy. The dominance, I think we definitely let our foot off the gas afterwards. And also another thing that I want to go and say is kudos to Atalanta, because people are going to go and see the scoreline here, 4-0 and whatnot. It was, yes, PSG definitely dominated the scoreline and whatnot, but Atalanta actually played like pretty decently well. It's not that, they were disgusting and that PSG was, just ran over them. Atalanta, especially after those like first 20 minutes, I'd go and say, pressed PSG really, really well and actually made it really difficult for PSG. And PSG oftentimes had to look for the long ball. As seen by the fact that I think in the first half, not so much, but as in PSG had 70% possession. And whereas in the first like couple minutes, it was like 77. So Atalanta really got back into the game. They only had 2 shots, right, from them, but they pressed PSG really well. In fact, I'd go and say that the press from Atalanta is probably the best press I've seen against PSG since, I'd probably say, that game against Chelsea in the Club World Cup final. Other than that, I think Atalanta, it's difficult for them also because they're missing their best player in 𝙀𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙾 and probably their second best player in 𝙬𝙪𝙨𝑒𝑑𝑒𝑟𝑠on𝑒. But again, from PSG's perspective, we got the job done. We can't get too gassed up about this, but again, as I say, PSG can only beat the opposition ahead of them. And we did so, we did that, and we move. We got Marseille over the weekend, and then FC Barcelona. We'll be there. We'll be ready. But guys, that's basically it for me on shorter one compared to normal. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's been a pleasure as always. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.